good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Steve Rogenstein. I'm Honeybee Watch's project director and your host today. And I'm joined by my colleague, Arrigo Moro, who is Honeybee Watch's science director. Today is the second of our four events in the 2026 Symposia series, now in our fourth year. And we'll learn about a style of beekeeping that dates back millennia and which for today's beekeepers might seem kind of exotic and for others might feel very typical. So I'm just going to start briefly with an introduction to Honeybee Watch for anybody who's not familiar with us. We are an international coalition tasked with better understanding how free-living honeybees survive with little to no human intervention. And by free-living, we mean bees that have chosen where they want to live, whether that be in trees, in log hives, buildings, holes in the ground, wherever. And our aim is to develop nature-based solutions to lower the mortality rates of managed colonies, increase beekeeping sustainability, and ultimately protect threatened wild populations around the world. In our 6 years, we've located more than 2,000 nest sites on 5 continents, mostly found by our research partners and by citizen scientists, perhaps like you. And if you'd like to participate and you know of any free-living colonies, we encourage you to go onto our reporting platform and enter your information and then tell us a little bit about where these nests are located and a couple characteristics about them. What we've also added to this is a monitoring program, and we encourage people who have identified where there are free-living colonies to visit them 4 times a year, observe them at the entrance, and take down some notes as to their survival and other kind of activities. Some other things that we've done at Honeybee Watch, we assembled a task force of experts to reassess the IUCN Red List status of wild Apis mellifera in Europe, which concluded last year with the new designation of endangered. We're also part of a Biodiversa Plus research study called Free Bee, and we are extensively studying free-living colonies in France, Ireland, Poland, Portugal, and Sweden. And you can learn more about that on our website. And both Free Bee and the IUCN work that we did were featured in the past with Symposia, and we recorded those and uploaded those videos onto our resources webpage, which you can view at your leisure. And that is where we have various papers and articles, links to websites, others videos, and all of the speakers from the past from our Symposia series. So if you want to browse that resources webpage, it's a great place to learn more about free-living colonies, about our research, about other people's research, about tree beekeeping, and more. And then lastly, we have a YouTube channel where you can find all of our videos. And if you haven't already, you can follow us on Instagram. So that's kind of the peanut-sized nutshell of Honeybee Watch. So what I'd like to do is dive right into today's program, which is titled Tree Beekeeping from Around the World. For many, tree beekeeping is an exotic style of apiculture, whereas for others, it's super common. And for those unfamiliar with it, in general, it's where bees have been living in natural tree cavities or are housed within human-made hollows, whether that's carved out of a live tree or in logs or sculpted out of other materials and then hung in trees. There's a wide array of hive types and management styles within the field of arboreal apiculture, and we wanted to highlight that diversity. So you'll see some of that variety today. We have 4 guests who are going to be sharing their tree beekeeping journeys and stories from the country Georgia, from Ghana, Poland, and Zimbabwe. And what we'll also hear are the unique characteristics of tree beekeeping from a historical, cultural, and practical perspective, and the similarities too between these 4 different countries. And we hope that their stories will inspire you as it has us. And so I would like to begin. Our next guest also attended Apimondia in Copenhagen and spoke on the same panel about alternative hive designs as Papa. Robert's from Zimbabwe. We met previously via an introduction by David Mukamana, who's here, I believe, from Apimondia. We were organizing a webinar last year about free-living honeybees in Africa. And since that time, we've been corresponding, which led us to this point. And he's going to introduce us to tree beekeeping in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, greetings to you all. I am happy to participate in this important symposium. Without wasting my allocated time, let me just be on my presentation. I am Dr. Robert Mutisi from Working for Bees Zimbabwe, and also I do work with the Bees for Development, which is a charity organization based in the UK, running projects in Zimbabwe. Next slide, please. Who is Working for Bees? Working for Bees is a team of beekeeping experts operating in Zimbabwe and leading women community beekeeping projects funded by Bees for Development, as I have said earlier on. And what do? We are the champions, the pioneers of nature-based beekeeping in Zimbabwe. We do training. We do train beekeepers locally, nationally, and regionally. We do hive making, apiary establishment, honey processing, and value addition. We also help communities to identify market access opportunities. Next one. And we also do tree growing and land restoration, conservation activities. And we also respect the existence of different hives in different communities, because each and every community has got unique resources. So we value that. And we also help communities to identify determinants of hive choices. Next slide. Right, I'll just focus right now more on tree beekeeping in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has a diverse flora, varied ecological zones, climatic conditions, and high resistant bees. Bees are considered as the unsung heroes or nerves of Zimbabwe's agriculture. Yeah, they do a lot, but very few of people come back and say thank you for the bees. It's very, people don't look at that. But they play a critical role in crop pollination, different ecosystems, and biodiversity. Beekeeping practices have been sustained for generations. Yeah, it's also good to know that 85% of beekeepers use fixed comb hives in Zimbabwe. Hive material comes from the forests near communities. I just want to briefly also talk about the nature-based beekeeping, but as it resonates well with tree beekeeping. Beekeeping practices are based on indigenous ecological knowledge. The use of native bees, like in Zimbabwe, we have the Apis mellifera scutellata as the species. Colonies live as they do in nature. Colonies use only survival skills with very little intervention, if ever there will be some, but otherwise they just survive with their own skills. The people, the bees, and the trees work together for good. This approach is actually accessible to everyone and is of low cost. It puts emphasis on access to nature and not money. It's easy to replicate elsewhere. Knowledge and skills are the secrets to success. I just want to touch a bit on the ecological zones of Zimbabwe. They offer varying potential for beekeeping. The natural regions, they range from region 1 up to region 5. And within these regions, we have rainfall ranging from 450 mils to above 1,000 mils per year. Different ecological zones have diverse flora that supports beekeeping initiatives. They have active beekeeping communities. Communities are connected to forest conservation because they know of certain incentives they will get from doing such an initiative. We also have miombo and acacia woodlands that provide excellent forage. Beekeeping is practiced successfully in the forest. It is increasingly associated with the forestry conservation. Wherever, if you cut across, move along all the agroecological zones. And beekeeping is considered a climate resilient livelihood option. I also briefly talk about the climatic conditions. Generally, we are in a subtropic sort of area. It's hot, humid summers, and also mild to cool winters. The climate also varies across agroecological regions. It offers a dynamic and rewarding environment. And we have perennial clean water that runs across most regions. I talk about the forage, the spread of the forage within these agroecological zones. We have the forage coming from the miombo, mopane, acacia, combretum, savanna woodlands. We also have some belts of exotic plantations, Afro-Montane forests, and also the riverine forests. Currently, we are having an invasive species right now, which is called the bee bush. By botanical name is called the Venonanthera polyandes. This is actually producing very good forage for the bees as I speak, but it's also affecting the agricultural land and also the forest. It comes in as a weed in the forest area, which is also something that becomes in as a challenge. And also some of the forage is actually coming from the fruit trees, citrus, apples, mangoes, avocado, and macadamia. Sustainability issues. Under this subtopic, we are talking about the abundant forage. We are also talking about water availability, conducive climate, like higher or more consistent rainfall tends to have better forage. Forest conservation. Beekeepers have an incentive to protect trees from fires and deforestation. Intensifying afforestation initiatives. Use of native bee species. Use of locally available material for hive construction, skills, and knowledge. Practicing generational beekeeping. All this is done to reduce poverty, hunger, and environmental degradation. Next slide. The benefits of tree beekeeping: low cost and accessibility, income diversification. That's when we look at this, when you talk of tree beekeeping, there are fruits in the forest, mushroom in the forest, edible worms in the forest, herbs, medicinal plants in the forest. So there's a lot of this diversification. Environmental stewardship, low labor intensive, natural colony health, community and social benefits. Next one. Next slide. Challenges. You see point number one, which relates to the picture in the slide. Forest fires, theft and vandalism, environmental factors. At times we experience droughts that actually affected the forage capacity and also the health of the bees and also the honey yields. Insufficient technical skills and access to extension services, and also pests. I deliberately left diseases because with my vast experience, I have never come across any serious bee disease in the area we are operating in the forest. Next one. Here we are just going through the slides showing the different hives we use. So it's just like a slideshow. So these are clay hives set differently and of different types. Next slide. You see that one? The one in black is actually 2 pots, clay pots, taken from a homestead. And the homestead actually used the 2, one on top of the other, to just start beekeeping. As we have said earlier on, it's accessible to everyone. So even at the home level, you can easily, women take this and then try to use it for beekeeping. Next slide. Here we have 2 back hives. One is smaller and the other one is shorter, and the other one is longer. The other one has got bees, and the other one is still to get bees. But you see the design of the back hive as well as the way they are set in the forest. Next slide. These are 2 log hives, and they are hung differently. And the one is of smaller diameter, and the other one is of large diameter. And there's a beekeeper. It's me actually cropping some honey out of one of the hives. Next slide. These are also some log hives set differently. One is actually set hung under a Syzygium cordatum tree with the waterberry. And we also have 3 beehives under one tree, the Bractwo spikiformis. Next slide. These are the tuber hives. You see that 2 are under one tree and 1 is under one tree. It's just showing how we hang the beehives in the forest. Next slide. Another tuber hive, but is made from small poles found in the forest. And the other one is a basket hive on the right. Basket hive that is made from bamboo. And see also, like, the old tires are used to try and hang the hives between the trees. Next slide. There is also a sort of a rectangular clay hive, which is actually sitting on an old tire and also supported by the wires tied to trees in the forest. And that old man there is actually very close to his colonized bucket or tin hive. He's using whatever is available to him to start beekeeping. Next slide. This is also something I thought I should share from the Ficus natalensis tree, which has got a very thick stem, but you can easily put your hives this way. Next one, next slide. The one there is right at the top there. But one thing I have tried to share here in terms of the way we are hanging the hive, it is we are trying to be more inclusive. That's why you have seen that they are lower and lower, some of them, because we have women groups working with us, doing work in the bees, with the bees, and also getting a lot of support from the bees. So you find that women, they can't actually climb up there, but they also want to access this beekeeping initiative. So you have seen that we have actually done also something in terms of the setting styles where women can easily access, and they can also come in and do it safely, easily, and happily. I thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Again, to see that you're so resourceful, using local materials, adapting to the situations. So we could definitely learn from what's happening in Zimbabwe and Ghana as well from Papa.